Well, hello everyone. Today we get to see if I've numbered this right. This will be the 5th video. There should be 4 before on some fairly spotty, just mounting here and this kind of clamping thing here in a pole and filling, and we'll get to see what it's all about if you come back. So before we get too far along in the program, I do want to remember to ask you to click like and subscribe, do all that stuff on the social medias, wherever there are, wherever you may find them. This video is posted on 3 different channels, once on Rumble, twice on YouTube, one over on the old channel, one on the real estate channel. So you get to see what is, whichever where you see it. Please check the like and notification bell so that you find out when we have new content like this. Not everybody will post this type of product. It's a little bit longer in some cases than other people's. I'm trying to show you how things are done and why they're done in case you have a better idea. That way you can share it with me in the comments to that video below of what you think about it. Specifically regarding the U5 or UFI 2C cameras, the color, tell me what mode you prefer. Do you like it in color or do you like it in the black and white, infrared black and white? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Say hi. Hey, just tell me if you think, dude, we love you, but you talk too much, you run too long. Tell me, or whatever, or if you like it being explicated like this where you can get a little bit of an understanding of why I did what I did. Maybe it won't fit for you, but maybe it will. I don't know. So appreciate you watching. Thank you. Let's get on with the program. Now we've got the intro kind of done. If you'll look, if I slide over, you can see over my left shoulder, your right side of the screen, my left shoulder, you see the corner of the driveway. We have a post placed there with a light on it. And you see the fence gate right there that you see across the driveway. It's in the closed position, and on top of each of those posts there are a few little lights that aren't shown in this picture but are there now. And that post that showed almost under the rear wheel and the house corner back there, that post is the hitch it post or the hold it post, because most of the time I have the gate locked or held in the open position so I don't have to get out in the rain and do it. So anyway, you see the entry to the driveway, you see the fence post, see how things are. Let's look at another screen of this. Now here we show from the driveway, and I need to show you this so that you understand. Again, it's rehash if you watched the first couple of videos. There is that first post inset, a little bit of room inside of that little 3-post corner there. And we have no right of way given up to anyone to use this space, so we're not having to move that. So I have my post buried here, solar panel LED lamp here, and it kind of flashes in this zone right here, maybe a little bit towards the mailbox, but I'm trying to get the edge of the light to fall just inside of that because we're driving on this side, so I don't want the light hit them in the face. And if we're driving on this side, or right hand of the road, then it's really not going to be in the people's eyes if it trips on whenever the traffic passes. I just don't want to blind anybody, be a problem myself. So here we see the gate in the open position, and right here would be another post, and I can't tell from this picture. It might be there. I kind of think it is. There the post is. It just may not have anything on it yet. So there where we are. Now I put into place another set of cameras. Now let me go back to switch scene. I put into place another set of cameras because I had some cameras on the side of the house that did a good job looking at my driveway. When UPS or someone shows up or the mail comes, it would give me a notification that there's something there. Worked pretty good until the neighbors built on the lot next to me. Now you see again over my left shoulder, you see how much space I left to the property line to give plenty of room so I'm not crowding anybody. Mutual respect kind of thing. Well, when we go back to this scene over here, you see that mutual respect was not observed, and they crowded this as close to my property line as humanly possible, as codes would allow. In fact, it may be in some places a little too close to the property line, not necessarily to the fence. It gets real marginal down here. The problem I have is this annoys me because this driveway is left incomplete, and the size of aggregate, the size of rock that they drive over pops and is super loud when anybody drives over it, whether it be a delivery van or even a little Prius like mine. It makes a whole lot of racket. In fact, it makes more racket when they drive up and down their driveway than mine does when they're outside the garage door here, pulling up next to where the Prius is. They're actually louder on their side, never being on my property, with that rock than they are coming up into my driveway. So I'm not getting my notices right. The thing is going off constantly. That the camera views this is constantly going off. And I'm getting kind of surprised people showing up here, being knock on the door type thing. That's a little bit annoying because of all of this traffic. And he's running some kind of business off of their property over here. And so they've got multiple deliveries on average 2 and 3 times a day, plus the other traffic. It's like living next to a trap house for the number of cars coming in and out. And they make more noise that I can hear inside of this brick home than someone does driving into my driveway. Well, I bought into a type of camera, a brand of camera called U5 or UFI, whatever you want to call it, because it's wireless. I'm looking for something to get from down here over my left shoulder, your right. You see that retaining post, that hitch post, that holding post for the fence. A little bit closer to the road is another pole, and I need to go Wi-Fi video from that corner into the house. And that's just the brand I selected. They're supposed to be 1080 HD, but they're not really, I don't believe, inside. I think they may be upscaling to that. Native-wise, it's very clear that it's not anywhere near 1080. What you're watching on this screen with me right here, this is true 1080-30 right here that you're watching. This little stream that's being recorded. This is 1080p. This is 1080p actually. Whether it's progressive or interlaced really doesn't matter. It's just a 1080 individual dots with individual character, 30 frames per second. The U5 will do 15, half those frames per second, and I don't believe it's actually 1080. It may be. I can look at the file generated. The file saved has 1080 bits in the format, but it's very clear that they're doing either too much compression or it's not native on the device because it's just not 1080 clear. It's just not. Even on its best days, it's just not. Well, let's go back over to look at the driveway and let's see what putting those 2 posts up do. The first thing will be a drive-by, something driving by at night. And so it caught it early on from the motion. You can see over here the post light come on with motion detection. Now the farmer's going down the road, he's getting ready to go do his thing, and that's helpful. We can also see what it looks like at night. Here's someone coming in, and you can see it's just a little blocky. It's not clear. You see these speckledies. It does not appear to be 1080 in this mode either. And we'll let these little ladies come in, and you see the lights working over here on the post. Now let's see what it looks like with color. Now it's not bad. I mean, I want to give credit where credit's due. It's not the very worst, and it's working well the way I've got it set up, doing my notification for me in the house, although it's costing me a ton of money to get this thing set up with all the bits and pieces. And it just, you know, you take EMT. I used 1.5 EMT. If you were to use rigid EMT, that runs about $10 a foot, and if you have to buy it in a 20-foot stick and cut it in half, that's still over $200 with tax included to get a pole. And it's hard to get antenna poles in this area for some reason and this environment. But you see how blurry his little head is, or her little head is right there. It's just not really great quality video at night. So let's look at what it would be for its primary purpose. It is good enough daytime to catch somebody who's being a little bit sketchy driving by my front of my driveway. If we have any problems out here in the country, it's usually people on this long single stretch playing drag racer, going a little bit too fast. Now let's look at him drive by, and you'll notice when it first loads up, the little blocks and squares is just not a good clean video. It's clean enough to identify that blue wheelbarrow in the back. You can see the yellow handles, and it's got some other stuff up here. It looks like another wheelbarrow on that side. You can identify the van a little bit of damage to the back side, and it's got a little ladder access to get to the rack. So it might have value in case of burglary or theft or that kind of thing. It's just, and I'll play that again. it does make you wonder when you see something. Look, it's got a little damage here on that front by that light too. So it may help. It's not terrible bad. But now let's talk about how to get the loading zone. Now if you notice, or the discovery zone, whatever they want to call it, do you see how I have this set up? I have it kind of set up where the camera looks more straight up and down, and it kind of looks down the road a little bit toward the other property corner and this other little road that goes right here. Well, it works pretty well, but I was getting a lot of false information. So let's take a look at this. They call this an activity zone. This is a screenshot off of the cell phone. And as I cocked the camera and you can look at it at the road when you're turning the camera, it's just got a little bit of a 10-second or so, 5 to 10-second delay. Seems like forever. It may be pretty quick. But I tried to get it where these two posts were level in the shot because I want to catch the mailman. You know, I'd like to know when my mailman drives by. And also, in the corner is somewhat over here on this side, not quite right on this side. We've got a little bit more dirt on here. And it gives me a good enough shot between these two activity zones to allow me to check people coming and going in the driveway without being false triggered off of the stuff that's going in their driveway on that side. And it works better with this being kind of turned. Now the camera on the pole looks super crooked, but the video that's being sent looks like this, and I think it looks a little bit better. So let's go back to another picture. I think this is one. Here is a what they call the color at night. Now this camera, being a 2C, is supposed to be 1080, although it's 15 frames a second, not full 30. It has a little LED, or maybe two little LED, white LEDs in the front of it that you can turn on, and they call that color because if you turn the white light on, it's reacting to that, versus using the low glow. You can see the little red lights very faintly on the camera when it comes on. They're low glow. They're not no glow if you know about trail cameras. They're low glow infrared, and the infrared does, I think, a better job than the color. They do say in there on their recommendations, if you have the U5 color cameras, have some other light in there other than just that little spotlight. Now the spotlight instantly, if you see it come on like a motion detector will, it can draw your attention to it. And if you're up to no good, you know, you look at that, oh no, there's somebody recording me. It has value that way. Whereas the reds the low glow reds come on, but they don't come on very bright, and it doesn't necessarily draw your attention to it. So U5 says if you want to use this spotlight mode, have another source of light around an area. You really need to be night lit in that situation to get results, which is kind of what having the spotlight, the 500 lumen LED spotlights will do for you, that floodlight rather, I should say, not spotlight, at the road should do. Let's go see how that actually turns out, because what that light does is if someone's looking at the camera, that little bit of a light, if they're close enough to it, it does pretty good in filling their facial features in color at night, where it may be a little harder to see in black and white, but it's just not good other places. So let's look at this. Now see how blocky, and this is nowhere near 1080. You see it filling in? These are little post marker lights. Now we see the little spotlight come on. Now that the spotlights come on, it does look a little bit better, a little brighter, but it's still not up to, in my opinion, 1080 in any straight form or fashion. Now it's 15, it's half the frames per second, but it's also being some kind of either compressed or interpolated in some fashion. The text looks sharp on it. This is generated by the computer here. Now this is generated on the video. So let's watch that again, and you'll see from it starting, the U5 camera, see how blocky as it tries to adjust and fire up and wake up and go, but it's being recorded at this stage. Can you see what I'm talking about? You might have to play this on a big screen for it to show up. And it's just very, very spotty. But there is that camera. in nighttime mode, color mode. Let's find you a demonstration of that camera in that position in black and white. Is this one it? Yes, the camera, I've not adjusted it yet. You see, we're not flat. I haven't repositioned the camera exactly. At this point, I was trying to catch as much of the driveway with a single zone. And we've already talked about the activity zone, but you can see it coming in. I think the black and white is just about as good as the color. Now you get this motion blur in this case, but it's good enough to tell what this thing is. It's not somebody's German Shepherd. It's not the bogeyman. We know these are deer coming in there, and it has value like that. Now, again, I think I showed you the sketchy driver. It's coming by. It looks pretty good. Well, now that I've taken it and I have realigned the camera to get the best use of the motion zone, the activity zone, to try to catch that mailbox area a little bit. Got the light so it's coming inside of the fence row, or just at least right inside of the white line on the road right there that you see, the edge road. Let's go back and see if we can't look at how it works for other kinds of traffic. Let me find you something. I think I've got a picture of me coming in the driveway. It's daytime. You don't see nearly as much of the blockiness, but you still do see it. Now let's re-roll that again and watch for the roughness of the picture. See, I just don't believe that this is producing anywhere near 1080 in its native format. And it will tell you if you have a delivery of some sort. It's not super great video, but I can read what brand of gas is coming to visit me and how he's driving in there. I think that's good enough. If you freeze frame, you could probably read the numbers on the truck. And of course, you can tell when the propane truck leaves because of timestamps. If I can trigger my picture, there we go. You can see the boy leaving after he's dropped off me some energy so I can burn me some dinosaurs. So I think it's doing a pretty good job, and I got notifications to the cell phone on both of those. So I think it's working pretty well that way. Now the last thing I want to show you is, let's see, it also works for Amazon. If you're getting you an Amazon delivery coming in, it works for it. So overall, I'm pleased with the project, because in this picture here I've completely cut off the other traffic, even if it's a little close, if they're within their rights to do that, that's fine, but I'm not getting the annoying notifications every time somebody goes up their driveway instead of my own. So now my notifications aren't working very well that way. And of course, we saw Amazon come in, let's watch them leave. And there is a bit of a lag or a delay when they come in and out, or anybody comes in the driveway, but the driveway is fairly long and I've got a view that way. So that's pretty well much the video with only this little bonus picture here. If I have it, here is a picture early morning of some trespassers trying to sneak back off my property that don't belong here. I have not given them written permission, and I'm not sure they can read anyway, but here's what it looks like. Just for a little entertainment, still blocky, still doing the checkerboard, but it's nice. I think I like watching a little bit of the wildlife come up. It's kind of cute. Here's some more coming. All right, come on, yay! And they're very well trained. You'll notice that with Mama there, she stops and looks both ways before they try to cross the highway. Stop and look both ways. Okay, now we're going across. So that's pretty well much the project. You know why? It spreads out over a period of weeks or so. First, come up with that Harbor Freight, I think it was $37, $27, something like that. LED 500 lumen light, battery operated, and it's set in that corner. And then I came back and put another light pole up for the camera, and it works pretty well. Had to do a little research to make sure I would be able to get adequate signal from that post to the inside of the house where the base station is. It works pretty well, and it's just a culmination of seeing it all work together. And now, oh, there's one other I wanted to show you, because this is kind of cute. I enjoy this as well. Let's flip back over to that other screen. I do enjoy this one feature, if I can find the demo. Well, there is the mailman. So the mail has come today. And again, it works out pretty well, I think, for all of those different features that I'm looking for. It isn't a Nest Cam, not nearly the quality of video off of it. Not bad for the price. Worked out well being wireless versus some of the other options that we have. I can capture the mailman coming to visit me with my mail. The notification zones are working well. So there you have it.